And look who's back again. What's good, everybody? Welcome into the very first War Room of 2025. I'm your boy, the coach, and this is for premium members only. I encourage you to bring in all your friends, all your family, because we are growing the brand big time. But this we do, and it drops every single Friday. It's where me and my partner, Big Tommy C, go toe-to-toe with the 5 biggest topics, according to us, and then maybe a little bonus topic. Big Tommy, Happy New Year, sir. I know you were popping bottles on Tuesday night. I heard all about you.
Oh yeah, that warm milk really pops really good, Coach. Put a little cocoa in there, hot chocolate, man. I gotta tell you, man, it got me off, make me want to go crazy.
I never want to hear you say that again, but I will say this: that it takes me back to the New Year's that your wife planned for us 20 years ago, and it's the coolest thing ever. And she took us to the equivalent of a old person's home.
Yeah.
The average age was 59 years old, and I believe I was 28 at the time. And I will never forgive your wife for doing that.
You were the stud of the night there. They couldn't wait to get their hands on you, man. Whew.
They were playing what's one of those things, Tommy, where they hold it and then you play like this?
Oh,
what
accordion.
Is that called? Yeah, accordion. They were playing an accordion. That's the kind of band they had that night. No DJ. It was the accordion. All right, Tommy, let's jump right into it. Topic number 1. And we're still trying to figure this out because I hate to pat myself on the back, Tommy, but I was right. Everybody says, Coach, where's your proof? Where's your proof? When I said Bianca and Jade Cargill simply hate each other. Now everybody's talking about it, but I was the first. But Tommy, she got ambushed. She got beat up. But where's the long-term storytelling? Why is it taking so long to figure out who took out Jade Cargill?
I have no idea. And when is it going to come up in the show? Like, when is it going to, where's the payoff here, right? We're going to find out who did it or how it was done, or does somebody have secret video of it and some security guard was shooting it and blah, blah, blah. But how does it come up in the show on SmackDown? When is it like, is Jay going to walk in on Naomi and Bianca backstage somewhere and says, I know who did it? Well, come with me, and then you string it out until the end of the night, and then you pay it off in the middle of the ring or something? That's what I want to know. When is the payoff coming? They know who did it and how they did it or what they did. I'm waiting for the payoff.
I'm going to save you some time, Tommy, because the reason it is taking so long is because nobody cares. Not even Triple H, not the creative team, not the fans. You don't hear anybody online going, can somebody please tell me? I'm dying to know. Do you know why nobody cares, Tommy? Because she's terrible.
Terrible.
She is not good in the ring. She looks like $1 million. That's it. That's why they paid her $1 million, reportedly. So, Tommy, I don't think we're ever going to find out because I think they believe if out of sight, out of mind, we move on, we go to Netflix, we have SmackDown on USA, nobody will remember or care who attacked Jade Cargill. And guess what? They're right, because I don't, because she's never going to be a main eventer, Tommy. She's just not a good WWE wrestler. And that's as plain as I can make it.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And they're letting her going to hang out on that island for a while. Oh, don't worry. We'll get to you. And it's never going to happen.
She better enjoy that cash right now because she ain't getting another one. And however long it was, probably a 3-year deal. Yeah. After that's over, even if they brought her back, it kind of reminds me of China, God rest her soul, years and years ago. Top money. They realized she's already fought all the guys. There's nowhere else for her to go, and they cut her money in half, and she refused to sign. Yep. And it kind of feels that way too. Boy, what a really big mistake, money-wise. Money-wise. All right, topic number 2. On the last SmackDown in 2024, the 6-woman tag match, Nia, Candice LeRae, they were not working with Tiffany at all. Why was this, Tommy?
Because they're setting up, Coach, for Tiffany to be the big-time babyface here. I think maybe at Rumble it's going to happen, but they're setting Tiff up to be a big-time women's champ babyface just in time for Charlotte to come back and Becky Lynch and maybe Alexa Bliss. But it's all being set up that Nia is the big-time heel along with Candice LeRae, and it makes you feel sorry for Tiff. I'm a big fan of Tiff. I think she looks great. She's a great worker in the ring. She has to work on her promos a little bit, but I'd rather see her have the title more than I would like to see Nia Jax, and that's what they're setting up for. The big switch over from Tiffany from heel to babyface, and the crowd will love it.
I am begging, and I mean begging, either for her. She hasn't cashed it in yet. Am I right? Did I miss
No.
something? All right. So she hasn't
Nope.
cashed it in yet. And I need her to, Tommy, because if I have to watch Nia Jax and her bad acting for one more pre-tape, I may lose my mind. I might. Nia Jax has not gotten better in 15 or 20 years, however long she's been here. And she's clumsy. Her acting is bad. And then you've got Tiffany Stratton. Who would have ever thought that Tiffany would give Nia Jax the rub? Whoever thought, but that's what's happening.
Yep.
And right now, they need to say, let's give Tiffany whatever we're going to give her. I don't know if they're going to give her the title, though. Do you think they'll give her the title?
I think she's going to get the title somewhere between now and Royal Rumble and let her keep it for a little bit and see how she does. And by the way, it makes Candice LaRue relevant because I don't care about Candice. I don't know if you do or anybody else does, but it's making her relevant on the way up of switching Tiffany over from heel to babyface. So Candice should be thanking Tiffany for that also.
And by the way, I never believe dirt sheets or anything they write, but sometimes I'll read the headline and I'll think, what if this was real? Because once in a while, a blind squirrel will find a nut. And there was a dirt sheet that said that Bayley is not being included in all of these big storylines on SmackDown with Nia and Tiffany and them because of her close relationship. And then, of course, they said with an AEW star. Well, we know she's best friends. She may even live with, I'm not sure, Mercedes Moné. And she goes to events with her. They take pictures together. At some point, you got to read the room. And you got to say, if I'm going to be a champion over here, I cannot be hanging out with the biggest female star in her own mind over at AEW. So it makes sense that they wouldn't give Bayley anything because Bayley was in a storyline with Nia Jax. So to me, give it to Tiffany. Somebody tell Bayley, hey, you want to extend your career for another 3 to 5 years? Stop hanging out with Mercedes Moné.
That's right.
Because it's hurting your career. It makes no sense. It's kind of like Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks showing up to watch Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill, and he goes, I'm going to show up to people I love. Oh, you love Jade Cargill? Yeah. Interesting.
Aha.
All right, topic number 3. This is the War Room with Big Tommy C and the coach, producer man, and intern Dan behind the scenes. How do you feel about SmackDown, which is going to be on the USA Network here in the States, and it will be on Netflix International. And they have just announced, Tommy, and we have been waiting with bated breath. It will move to 3 hours. That's right. Not 2 like it is now. 3 hours in 2025. Your take.
The biggest mistake of all time, Coach. And for the first time, we're hearing that Netflix Raw may be 3 hours. So for the first time, these writers are going to be writing show 6 hours of riveting TV every week, where we're going to get Chad Gable going against, Carlito for 3 segments. Pete Dunne going against R-Truth or whatever. It's ridiculous, Coach.
That is why, Tommy, it's why I've said the worst job in the history of pro wrestling is being a writer, because it's never ending. You're on, what do they call that? It's Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Back in the day, Vince used to make them have 8-hour conference calls on Saturdays. And the easiest, laziest thing to do is say, hey, Chad Otis, you're going to go 3 segments. All right, guys, I just covered 18 minutes on SmackDown, but we still got 2 hours and 42 minutes left. Tommy, it is such a mistake, and they are letting the almighty dollar lead them by the nose. And the USA Network, remember, we're talking about Friday night here, Tommy, and let's say they only get 800,000. What other show could they put at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock on a Friday night that's going to get 800,000? I'm just throwing a number out there. So it makes sense for USA Network, right?
Yeah.
But it's terrible, Tommy. It's just, it's matches that are multi-segments. And right now, when I go to commercial, click. Click.
And you still have the brand split, which now they got that dumb transfer portal. And, I want to come on this show for a week or that show, which we've been killing that for months, saying kill the brand split. Let everybody go where they want to go and make some stuff a surprise, like the way they're doing with Drew. He's bogarting in on everybody. We call that too, by the way. That's how Drew's character should have been. So
we should be
somebody's
getting a check. We should be getting a check, you
yeah,
and I, Tommy, for writing the
yeah.
shows because they do
ab
everything we say.
Yep.
They really, really do.
Yes,
I
they
mean,
do.
it's absolutely banana land. I just lost my train of thought. What were you just talking about right there?
About the 3 hours and killing the brand split. And they're doing that transfer where you go to the GM, like Sami Zayn went last week on SmackDown, and then Carmelo Hayes interfered, and they end up having a match because Carmelo Hayes interfered with him, and Aldis wanted to talk about the bloodline.
There you
And
go.
there you go.
The whole point was nobody remembers, Tommy, when you're
No.
doing it 3 hours. And Tommy,
Right.
here's the other thing is that the whole transfer portal, I put it out on social media. I haven't tweeted in almost 2 weeks. It was kind of nice to take a break. But when I did, I said, this is not you cannot treat this like a college football show. And they're like, Coach, suspend relief. You're a sports guy. Why do you got to hate on everything? I said, I'm not, but we know this is a show. And for somebody to want to go to SmackDown, they can just go. SmackDown, they can just go. We don't have to say, hey, Nick, I've got Nia Jackson, the transfer portal. How much NIL money are you going to give her? And let's bring her over, and I get her for $2. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
It's a work.
Thank you. It's a work. Don't tell him, Tommy. Don't tell
I
him.
won't.
Don't
I
tell
won't.
him. Topic number 4 here on the War Room. Big Tommy C and the Coach. Give me your early prediction on who will win the men's Royal Rumble.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting. So I've been thinking about this lately, Coach, and I think the thing that's going to happen is going to happen, and we didn't want it to happen. First of all, I think Cena's going to win, right? And he's going to face Gunther at WrestleMania. And the thing that we didn't want to happen was that Gunther, and look where we are, Coach. It's coming up on January. We're into the new year and everything, and he's still the champ. And it's going to go to Mania, and Cena's going to win that thing for the 17th or 18th time just to obliterate Ric Flair because he's with AEW or whatever Rick's doing, whatever he's doing. They're going to do that. Cena is going to win the Royal Rumble and go on to face Gunther at WrestleMania in Vegas.
Oh, my God, Tommy. I know you're right, but I hate that you're right. I don't want you to be right.
I know.
So I don't know if I can't even imagine that those leaked Royal Rumble notes were real this past week. But they did have Cena winning, and they had Cena beating Rock and Rock being the runner-up. I could see that happening. But in order for Cena to earn a title shot in this make-believe world, he would have to win the Royal Rumble because he hasn't been around for most of 2024. So for these hardcore fans who think everything's real and God forbid he walk back in the door and get a title shot, he's got to earn it. So he's got to win the Royal Rumble. And then you're going to hear the hardcore fans going, well, he hasn't been full-time. Why does he deserve? There is no deserving.
Right.
I could have won 2 Royal Rumbles if Vince would have said, Coach, you win. That's the world.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand that, Tommy.
No. Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Some people just don't understand it. If Vince said Steve Lombardi was going to be the champ as the Brooklyn Brawler, guess what? He would have been the champ.
Can you imagine if Vince would have just been in a really bad mood one day and he'd been like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna put Coach over. You're gonna eliminate the Big Show and you're gonna take on the Rock at WrestleMania. Holy criminy. Holy criminy. All right, topic number 5. What do you think of the new transfer system of superstars going from the Raw brand to the SmackDown brand and vice versa? And what do you think the superstars feel about it? Because their travel schedule now, Tommy, the shows are Monday and Friday. If you're going to both shows, you're back and forth from home 2 times a week. It is brutal. But if you're one of those superstars, then you're probably making a pretty nice chunk of change. Your take.
Yeah, you're chunk of change. And by the way, we forgot to throw live events in there. So they're still doing that too, folks. They still do the live events and everything like that. Like, we've been killing this for a long time about the brand split and everything. So they come up with this cockamamie transfer thing, and it does mess with the boys' travel big time. I would be pissed off. But if you're one of those guys that go from Raw to SmackDown to Raw every week, you should be happy because you're one of the top guys in the company and you're making some big time money there. So don't complain about it so much. Yes, the transfer portal back because they had nothing else to do, Coach. You can't keep these brands split and do 6 hours of TV every week and have the same stuff, 2, 3 segments and matches. Netflix is not going to put up with that at all. USA, they put up with it for years, but when you're new and you're Netflix, you ain't putting double match segments in there every week. So you had to do something where we're going to get that crossover Netflix. You will see Cody Rhodes on Raw, okay? Stop complaining. We're going to see him, okay? And that's how your out is with this whole transfer portal gimmick.
I wonder how much Triple H and the creative promised Netflix. Because at some point, they're going to get pissed. They're going to say, you promised us Roman. They're like, well, Roman's only showing up half the time, and half the time he's got to be on SmackDown. So it's going to be a fine line. But both places are paying top dollar. And Tommy, I don't care what anybody says. Somebody pays me $500 million. I'm going to give them what they want. I'm going to give them what they want. And that's just the bottom line. So I don't like the system because, and I'm not a hater on it, but it's a show, and I was in the show, and it is, as you say, it's a work. And so to try to make everything like real sports, to me, is a little bit silly. And so I think the talent probably thinks so too. And also they can't schedule anything. If they somehow go, oh man, we're going to need you on Monday, but I already had this planned. Sorry. I remember that used to happen all the time. Couldn't even take a vacation for 7 days. Can you imagine that?
I know.
Michael Cole hasn't missed a show in 28 years.
I know.
I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much fun the job is. You got it. I would have lost if I wouldn't have left in 2008, I would have lost my mind. I would have lost my mind. There's no question.
You know what the funniest part of the whole thing is when we watch the draft, how the superstars are surprised where they're going. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah. Well, you knew on Friday.
Yeah,
we called you 3 days ago.
You got to change your travel now. So you're traveling on this day now.
All right, how about a little bonus question this week here on the War Room? At this point in Roman's career, does he really need to give it the follow back? Yes or no?
Okay, here's my deal on Roman. He is in such a place with this company right now. He can do no wrong. He busted his ass for those 4 years. He was a champ, right? So he's top 3. He'll be top 3, 4, 5 forever. Does he really need the Ula Fala, or I hope I'm saying it right, to move on with his career? No. It would help Solo to keep the Ula Fala, to build another superstar in this whole brand. Roman is Roman. He's going to be who he is. He's a main eventer for the rest of his life. We saw what happened the past 4 years. We never thought he was going to keep the title that long. He did, and they made a big time superstar out of him, right? So why would he need to win next week or at Netflix Raw? Why does he need to win to cement his career? He doesn't need it. He needs to chase Solo, and we need to make Solo a bigger star than he is right now. And the way to do that is to keep that necklace on him and have Roman chase him. He doesn't need it in this point in his career.
Roman Reigns is a top 3 superstar of all time. And when you've main evented, 7, 8 WrestleManias at this point, there is nothing that he needs. And when you're lucky enough to get a superstar like him to be around and you don't overwork him, and I give him credit for putting his foot down when he got leukemia and he said, listen, guys, I can only do this much. Reportedly, he's getting ready to sign for north of $20 million. He's going to have his own signature shoe with Brand Jordan coming up in 2025.
Wow.
If he's smart, like a lot of other big-time guys, he will understand that he can extend his career by giving other guys the rub and creating guys that can come up to his level and run these programs with him and probably only have to wrestle 5 to 10 times a year. Maybe. But if he insists on having the title, being a fighting champion, all the stuff that he doesn't need, then he's going to have to wrestle a lot more than what he wants to. So you can't have the title and you can't have all this stuff if you. So to me, just make him the big superstar that he is. That's it. And let him make his $20 million or whatever it is, and he's earned it. It. So the answer is no. He doesn't need anything. Nothing. Nope. Do not forget, we drop a separate segment, 10 or 12 minutes. This week, it's on, do we think Logan Paul, who came out of retirement to say he was going to be at Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Is he really going to fight Conor McGregor for $250 million? We weigh in. Subscribe to our channel. Watch that episode every single Friday. We drop something. That'll do it for now. Once again, Tommy kicked your butt. I mean, it wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. He is Big Tommy C, producer man, intern Dan. I am the coach. This has been the War Room for all of you premium members. 2024. Let's go. Get it. Take care.